Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 84 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. We're focusing on mental well-being, mental health, mental area and aspect of the life framework that I use. It's a 9-part life framework to kind of organize my life and set goals and objectives in those different 9 areas. So with this year's challenge, we are spending an entire month on each of those areas and aspects of our life. We did emotional last month, and this month we are doing the area of mental well-being, mental health. So we're starting the goal setting process for our mental well-being, because I want to go through the process each month in each area and aspect of our life, because what we'll see is we have these, I like to set legacy goals, great big lifetime goals, and then I break them down into usually 20, 10, 5-year goals, because, I'm getting up there. I'm not going to last maybe more than 20, 30 years. So, unless there's massive marvels in medical science that change in our longevity. And then I break them down into this year's goals. I take this year's goals and break them down into smaller and smaller pieces. And we'll do that as one of the steps of this process. But first, we need to know what we want. What is our current situation with respect to mental well-being, mental health? I'm going to take a sip of coffee and put it down so I can show you the little grid I create for myself, or I've created for myself for today's challenge. It's not really a grid yet, but the first step of the process is to know where we are and then know what we want with respect to our mental health and our mental well-being. So I need to know my current state and my desired state. So I wrote down a couple areas where I want to consider my mental well-being and my mental health. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. Definitely caught a cold before I traveled this trip. And I've got self-talk, emotional state, thoughts, beliefs, and values, and then mindfulness, self-care, and personal development. Those are areas I want to consider. What is my current situation? I want to ask myself, where do I think I am right now in those areas? And then what's my desired state? Where do I want to be? Where ideally do I want to be in each of these areas at the end of the year? And so I just made a little grid that lists those things, and it says current and desired, because it allows me to just jot down a couple of notes and a couple of thoughts of where I'm at. So our action item today is just to think about what is our current state of our mental well-being, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotional state with respect to the things that we're thinking. Because our thoughts we feel something first, and then our thoughts take it away and run with it. So, and the other one, I've talked about this several times, is self-talk. I want to make sure that my self-talk is a cheerleader, not a negative little detractor, which, for a lot of us, it tends to be. And then we've talked about mindfulness, the importance of self-care, and then personal development. So probably the self-talk, emotional states and thoughts, beliefs, and values, those are things that I'm thinking about in my current state. And I guess mindfulness, self-care, and I guess all of them are both current and desired. So that's what I am doing. So you can figure that out in whatever way feels right for you. But we want to know, what is your current mental well-being state, and how do you feel about it? And then what do you want it to be, so that we create that gap. Sounds like the SOAP framework, doesn't it? We create the gap in our story. What's our current story or situation? What's our desired story or situation? It's the same thing in the goal process. Why are they so similar? Because a goal is something that we want. And how to get anything we want, we can use the SOAP framework, the goal framework. The process is really the same. It's just what we call it, and what resonates best with us is the way we describe the process. So step 1 today, what's my current and what's my desired state? We have to know what that gap is, so we know what kind of goals we need to set in order to fill that gap. Any questions? Hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.